I didn't expect noticing to feel like this. At first, it felt gentle, almost interesting, like discovering something new without needing to do anything about it. But somewhere along the way, noticing stopped being neutral. It started to feel uncomfortable, not in a dramatic way, more like a quiet pressure. Like realizing you're aware of something you can't unknow, but you also don't know what to do with it yet. I still go about my days the same way. I wake up. I move through routines. I talk to people. I show up where I'm expected. But there's something different now. There's a pause. Not a forced pause, just a small gap between what happens and how I react to it. And inside that gap, things don't always feel peaceful. Sometimes they feel exposed. I notice how quickly my body reacts before my mind even has a chance to explain it. How tension forms before I name it. How defensiveness shows up before I decide whether it's needed. Before, those reactions just were. They happened, and I moved on. Now I see them forming, and that changes things. Noticing doesn't stop the reaction. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't turn me calm or wise. It just makes the moment visible. And visibility can be uncomfortable. There are times when I wish I could go back. Not to ignorance exactly, but to the simplicity of not seeing so much at once. Because once you notice something, you're quietly responsible for how you relate to it. Not responsible to fix it, just responsible to see it honestly. And that's heavier than I expected. I notice how often I reach for distractions now. Not because I need them, but because awareness doesn't always feel good. Silence isn't always calm. Sometimes silence amplifies what's already there. Thoughts I didn't question before now stand out. Patterns I've lived inside of for years become obvious. And the hardest part isn't seeing them. The hardest part is realizing how long they've been running the show. There's a strange grief that comes with that. Not regret, just a quiet sadness for how automatic life can be before we notice we're inside it. I don't judge that version of myself. I understand it. Awareness doesn't arrive because we're ready. It arrives because something shifts. Sometimes slowly, sometimes without permission. And when it does, it doesn't rearrange life for you. It just turns the lights on. I still get irritated. I still misread situations. I still feel pulled by old habits. The difference is, now I see the pull. And seeing it doesn't make it go away. It makes it honest. There are moments when I'm mid-reaction, and I can feel awareness watching from the background. Not interfering, not correcting, just there, almost asking, "Did you see that?" And sometimes, I don't want to answer. Because answering means admitting that I'm not as intentional as I thought I was. That some choices aren't choices at all. They're reflexes. This is where noticing becomes uncomfortable. Not because it's painful, but because it removes excuses. Not external ones, internal ones. I can't blame the world the same way when I see how quickly I participate in my own reactions. That doesn't mean the world is suddenly fair. It just means my role is clearer. And clarity doesn't always feel kind. There's also a loneliness to this stage. Not because people disappear, but because language doesn't quite work the same anymore. It's hard to explain what's shifting when nothing dramatic is happening. There's no breakthrough story, no transformation arc, just a quiet recalibration. And most people don't talk from this place because it doesn't sound impressive. I'm more aware of my patterns, doesn't make a headline, but it changes how you stand in a room, how you listen, how you respond. I notice when I speak just to fill space, when I agree just to avoid tension, when I rush past discomfort instead of staying with it. And staying with it is hard. Noticing removes urgency, but it adds depth. Moments stretch out. Emotions linger longer because they're no longer buried under reaction. Sometimes I feel slower now, not physically, internally, like life isn't pushing me forward as aggressively. And that can feel disorienting in a world that values speed. There's no instruction manual for this part. No one tells you what to do when awareness grows, but certainty doesn't. So you walk, you live, you pay attention, you let moments unfold without immediately labeling them. And sometimes, you feel like you're doing nothing, while everything inside is rearranging. I've noticed that discomfort isn't asking to be solved. It's asking to be noticed too. The urge to escape it is strong. But the longer I stay with it, the less threatening it feels. Not comfortable, just less demanding. It stops shouting when it realizes it's being heard. This isn't enlightenment. It's not peace. It's honesty. And honesty doesn't always feel warm, but it feels real. I don't think this stage lasts forever, but I don't think it should be rushed either. There's something important about learning to sit with awareness, without trying to turn it into something useful, without monetizing it, without teaching it, without packaging it, just letting it exist inside ordinary life. The dishes still need to be done. Conversations still get messy. Emotions still rise and fall. The difference is, I'm not asleep inside them anymore. And being awake isn't always comfortable, but it's alive. If you're here, in this quiet, awkward, exposed place, nothing has gone wrong. You haven't stalled. You haven't failed. You're just standing in the part of the journey where awareness stops being interesting and starts being honest. And that's not a step backward. It's a deepening. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to explain it. You just need to keep walking, not toward answers, but toward presence. Because sometimes, the most meaningful change isn't loud enough to announce itself. It just slowly changes the way you stand inside your own life.